Some fighting.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we are back with the MMA Avengers. We may not be able to save MMA, but we will damn sure avenge it. So there was something we need to avenge. Did you see that fight in Texas where the guy got like final close to punches and like armbar?
Note,
Was
the
dead.
new number is
Where he passed out and then woke up and the arm was like extended
Yeah.
over the.
Oh, I heard.
The arm was like fully extended.
Bad refereeing.
Yeah.
You know,
Got
right?
Kind of.
How long is this fucking intro?
You could talk.
I cut this shit already.
I know it's never stopped you.
No, but
You're very curt to steal your word.
Kurt.
What up, everyone?
Oh, I like that view. Actually.
Yeah, me too. That
I
was good.
like that view. This is a good. I do like this view actually. Yeah, let's see if Kidrick pops up. But you know, we should have Kid Marvelous at some point.
Fuck
but-
that guy.
If he's a half hour late to training, I'm sure podcasts isn't going to fare much better. Especially since I only sent them the link 3 minutes ago.
Oh, John, you look like you've been prepping for like 3 hours. John's eyes are this big.
He's been sitting in front of the what do you call the circle lamp?
I've been sitting in front of the circle lamp.
Ring
A
light.
lot of joints. Just like squeeze together. This is for protection.
You
That's-
couldn't look any higher.
Hi, how are you?
My, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Oh, I can't do that. I'm too high.
Let's
I'm going to
get
get a little higher too while I'm out here. Yeah, you know what? I took a lot of edibles too today. Like when I got home, I ate a steak and took an edible. And since I came home, Carrie, I probably took like 5 of those Rude Boys.
see. I can see it in your face.
Yeah, like you know how that
It looks like you have a bottle.
the Rude Boys be hitting you like they
Out
really.
of nowhere.
I can't
Yeah.
even open my eyes big. I'm trying to open my eyes are like, no, just stay squinty, bro. That's
Yeah.
like my friend Eddie when he's high, you can't even tell. Sorry, it's an Asian joke.
Black belt couch.
Couch black belt, best couch black belt out there. Shout out Ed Lou. King of Manhasset. Couch black belt. The fights this weekend were pretty good. I was actually surprised.
Yeah, they were.
Besides the main event. I mean, though Sandhagen put on a performance,
It
Vera's
was a
was
good fight. Vera, the first 2 rounds, it looked like Chito Vera looked like when I'm rolling with a dude and I'm like, oh, he's, I'm just gonna let him like do whatever he wants for like 2 rounds, and then you realize, oh, this guy's been punching me in the face. He's like, I better start doing something. Yeah, Chito, the first 2 rounds, he kind of like, he was like chilling out there. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Sandhagen's not Dominic Cruz. Because even against Dominic Cruz, I had him only up around.
yeah, and Jason Perillo was screaming at him in between rounds.
Jason Perillo. Oh, no, that's Jason Derulo.
Jason Perillo is the Aaron Paul lookalike.
Hold on. I do want to. Hold on. Let's say something about coaches. Did you see Conor McGregor? He throws shade everywhere and every fucking coach out there. Every coach, he's like, this guy sucks, that guy sucks, except his coach. And who didn't he name? Because he knew Ray Longo. He didn't say shit. He's like, nah, that guy's good. He named all these coaches like Greg Jackson. What's his name? Trevor Whitman is a fucking pan holder, right? He called out all these guys. And he left Ray Longo out because he knows.
Smart.
Fuck with Ray Longo. The Godfather, next thing you know, fucking Conor McGregor will be in Canarsie Pier over here.
That's right. He'll put a fucking
remember
hole in his
how-
chest.
Iaquinta was in the notorious Dolly incident.
Yes.
He was on the bus.
Yes.
So Al has some history there. Real gangster. Al Iaquinta. Now a real estate gangster. Now a real estate gangster. Now should I start cutting promos for Al?
I see what you did there.
He's a real estate gangster. You could put the
Good.
Khabib, cut Khabib's quote in there where he's like, he's real gangster. Be like,
Brooklyn gangster.
he is the real Brooklyn gangster. Yeah.
Good for Al. Good for Al. He's taking on the post-fighting career head on.
Yeah, really.
Kind of have to, right?
You would think.
You would think, yeah.
You could be like Jens Pulver and just get addicted to like fucking gaming. Crystal meth.
That was cool what they did for him a couple of pay-per-view cards away.
They did something, right? Would they give him a Hall of Fame?
Yep. And they it was a setup. He thought he was throwing to like a highlight package, and then it was him.
Yeah, he's the first lightweight champ. I remember when I first started fighting, I was like, oh, just fight at 155. That's the lightest weight you could go. Anyway, because Jens Pulver, I think 2005, he won the belt. I think that was a fight where he fought BJ Penn, and BJ Penn came out to Phil Collins in the air of the night. I could feel it calling in the air. And then he just underperformed for 5 rounds. Very BJ Penn-esque.
Crazy, weird song to come out to. In a weird way for me.
I guess.
I don't know. Everybody gets mad, but I'm not the biggest Phil Collins fan.
Is he a Long Island guy?
I don't know.
I would say British.
Who's from Long Island?
Oh,
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. Yeah.
Billy
Not-
Joel.
Billy either. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I could go either way, you know.
What other fights were good on that card? We had the main event. Yeah, I mean, Corey Sandhagen looked good. He had good takedowns.
Oh, Holly Holm, her fight.
Oh, Holly Holm looked good. Holly Holm, I was like, is Holly Holm a wrestler now?
And she was getting a taste of her own medicine with the clinch, like against the fence, and then she turned the tables.
Yeah, I mean, Holly Holm, yeah, I mean, she looked good. She fucking took it down, did what she had to do. She's, our age, so good to see.
Think about the babies that Yana Kunitskaya is having with Thiago Santos.
Oh, what do you think? Genetic freaks? Is that what you're saying?
Mutants.
Good genetics? Can I get one? No, I'm just kidding.
Can I buy one from you?
I'll train it.
I'll buy one kid.
No, that's kind of like trafficking. If they would like me,
I don't want any kids.
there's nothing like freedom, right, Curry? Nothing like freedom, right?
Yeah, not buying no kids from nobody.
Manimals like send a link. I'm breastfeeding. I'm microwaving a bottle.
Well, you told me calm my titties. So
Yeah, tits are on my mind.
yeah, you were like, calm your tits. I was like, these tits.
I did like what she had to say after her fight.
Thank you. I was waiting for this. Let's talk.
I was opening the floor.
You know I have something to say
So,
about.
what the hell did she mean? Did she? She said the sexualization of the youth, right? Did I quote that correctly?
And then she went into more detail in the
I didn't even look for that.
and she said that She said it's not just over sexualization of our children. It goes into trafficking and, you know, kids being molested, and that takes them into their, you know, older years or whatever, however she worded it, basically saying that it affects you as an adult. And she said we need to protect our children. This isn't a left issue or a right issue. It shouldn't be either side issue. This should be, everybody should agree on this. And I've been saying this for a long time. This should not be an issue that should, so many people were like, oh, she's a crazy QAnon person. No, she's not. She's a fucking person that's seeing what's going on. When there are books in elementary schools basically telling kids, no, literally telling kids how to give a blowjob and stuff, their parents should be telling them that. You know what I mean? Not first graders should be.
No one ever taught you how to suck a dick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your parents don't have to teach you this shit. No one has to teach you this shit. You know what I mean? This is something you learn on your own.
In a book in elementary school, you're putting porn in.
It's fucking Pornhub. Why do I need to put that in elementary school?
It's a problem. So
that's just how I feel. Like, I'm not averse to anyone learning about sexuality, but that's not what
first grader.
I think the education system should be designed for. Like, really, even like if you think about it, think about adults like Ike, me and you. How much do we talk about sex? Not much at all, right? And we're friends. So why would you teach a kid that, like, who's not your kid?
And they barely even know anything. They barely know how to tie their shoes, and you're teaching them about blowjobs and if they're gay or not. Like, the kid will decide that eventually. Like, that's just so. I mean, she took an opportunity, and I thought it was great because more people should speak out about that and say that it is a fucking problem. And when you have people sitting there cheering it on and going, "Oh no, that you know that." It's, what's going on?
Hey, listen, what about sex trafficking and underage shit? They still haven't arrested anyone on Epstein's client list.
No, they are the first traffickers to get arrested for trafficking no one.
They traffic no one to no one.
Nobody to nobody. There was no
people that they have proof they trafficked them to. Nothing.
Well, it's disgusting. The
really?
fact.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so look at this, right? Take that aside. You get like Balenciaga and all these companies that are putting out sexualization. No,
that's just fashion.
About children, right? People go, it's art. It's not art. It's disgusting. Why did they take down every post on their Instagram if it was just art? There's a reason, right? So, a person like me, I get my whole Instagram taken away, all my following, everything, but Balenciaga is still allowed to have one. Why? So I have a problem with that. And the fact that people think it's a political issue, I have a problem with those people. Big problem with those people.
Yeah. And you know what? Trafficking children has always been a problem because I told you, I asked one of our friends, it works with the, with the government in those type of fields and anti-sex trafficking. And I asked him, I was like, is this more of a problem now than it's ever been? It looks crazy. He's like, no, now people are just starting to kind of put attention on it. But he said it's always been a problem. So, we should talk about it. Like, sex trafficking's always been a problem. And in America, I think 800,000 kids go missing every year. That's a lot.
Oh God, I said that, and people were like, "What did it came up for on Facebook fact checkers?" It said like, it's a I forget what they said. Basically saying it's like that's not exactly what it is. Fuck off. That's exactly
okay. Let's say half are runaway kids.
Where did they go? Where did these go? Did they ever get found? Nope. What happened to the kids on the back of the milk carton? No more. What you know what I mean? Like there's so. We used to get the flyer home with the kids on it. You don't see that shit anymore.
No, I see them. They put them on like Channel 12 News. I see today one.
But do those kids ever get found? Do you ever hear a good story? No, you don't. What happens? I don't know.
I would like to know.
That's what happens.
But I tell you what, even if you said half of those 800,000 kids were like runaways that did come back, that still leaves you with almost 500,000 kids that disappear.
Which is insane.
That's pretty crazy if you think about it. Ike, right? Like you have a kid, right?
Yep.
That you love and take care of, right?
Breastfeed and everything.
At least, well, you breastfeed too, right? One on each tit.
I almost just.
Do you go on one and he and the kid on the other? No, you don't.
I haven't worked out for a month, so now it's starting to form.
Balance? You haven't worked out for a month. What happened? I thought you had a fight coming up.
Oh no, I'm waiting on the coach for the what would you call it? The green light.
Oh.
You know the thing after the red, the green.
Yellow?
Oh,
Are you on yellow light right now? Or are you slowing down, preparing to stop?
yes,
Or
I just
have
had
you-
ice cream last night. Like I'm trying to explain to the coach, I'm like, I need momentum. He's like, slow and steady. I'm like, slow and steady. I'm like crying, playing video games, eating ice cream. Slow and steady.
Are you
Slow
hurt?
and steady. But what were we talking about with the you were gonna propose
Yeah,
something?
don't get hurt.
Question.
Oh, propose a question about stopping the sexualization of children. Was that what we were talking about? I see Holly Holm on the bottom. I'm like, what are we talking about? Stop the
I spelled it
sexualization.
right? Some people write Holmes. You guys
No, it's HOLM. It's not.
Holly Holm.
What?
It's not like the porn star. It's not like John Holmes.
Oh, I don't know who that is. But
Holly Holm.
I'm like, no. Oh, no.
Oh, Kerry, hold on. Kerry's good at spotting this in the girls. Is Macy Barber on the juice? She looks fucking jacked, but she is also young and tough and trains hard.
I think she is. Yet, that will be to be determined. Her face is still tiny, so.
is that a team alpha male slight?
Yeah, a little bit. But no, because if you look, Kerry showed me a picture of Holly Holm when she first started fighting. And if you look at her now,
Totally
the
different.
argument for her having at some point been on the sauce, I would agree with it.
I mean,
Boxer.
the Jackson Wing team,
Go
they
look.
were pre-USADA dominant.
Jackson Wink is pre-USADA, yeah.
Yeah.
Diego, Carlos Condon,
Years. So look at that. You know what I mean? Her history in there.
Jones.
John Jones, of course. Chael Sonnen says he was hiding under the cage
Yeah.
when USADA came to the gym, and he waited there so long that he peed. And they said, Chael Sonnen said you could probably find traces of his urine.
Nah. USADA. Chael at least owned up to it. He's like, yo, that's all you found? He was like, all right. He was like, I was on even more shit. He was like, I was on everything. I was going to fight John Jones.
Genius. That man has an answer for everything.
Yeah, he does. The best was when he lied about, like, he joked about the explanation for tapping in the Anderson Silva fight.
In what sport for 24 minutes?
He's like, I thought that, and it went to the judge's scorecard. Okay, I lost that round. But I won the 4 other rounds. I didn't know it stopped the entirety of the fight. Stop it, bro. You fought it fucking like right and stupid. But he says it with such a straight face. He's like, I thought when I tapped, that ended the round, not the whole fight. And it was the last minute of the last round. So I figured, all right, you got me. I won the other 4 rounds. Give me my title. I'm going home. And he was so serious. I was like, wow, he's really able to sell it. He's good. I'm like, please, you got tapped out like 3 times in your fight with Paulo Filo. He did the verbal tap that time. Do you remember with Paulo Filo? He was like, ah. And when and the ref was like, stop. And he was like, I didn't tap. And he was like, you screamed like a bitch. That's a verbal tap.
Tap.
But the second fight, he did redeem himself. He did kick that dude's ass. But that guy was a little beast. I don't know if you remember. Paulo Filo. There was another guy. Paulo Filo, I guess, was like a Rusamar Polaris type of fighter. But maybe even a little better skilled. Who else was on that card that was good? I seen the Holly Holm fight.
I can't believe Barber is on 4-fight winning streak. I was like, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know where that came out of, but she did look good in that fight. She was putting together good combos.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tough fight. It was no blowout. She cannot stop a fucking takedown, I'll tell you that.
Her and Blanchfield, same division?
Blanchfield would destroy that girl.
Yep.
Can't stop a takedown.
I'm going to destroy her for sure.
Macy Barber, look, what takedown did she stop in that fight?
None. Erin will submit her so fast, it's not even funny.
Yeah. I mean, look at what Erin did to Meatball Molly.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Molly's better on the ground than
Grasso. That's going to be a great fight.
Which fight?
Alexa Grasso. I think she beats Alexa too. Her jiu-jitsu is just so good.
Yeah, she's faced. Is it confirmed the Santos fight? Santos Blanchfield?
I don't even understand how Blanchfield's such a beast.
Mm.
Like how good she is for how young she is just doesn't make sense to me. Like I have to figure out the repetitions that she put in.
Mm.
It's like crazy how good she is. Like really, she's already like she dusted Andrade, who
Mhm.
was like ranked 3rd or 2nd, right? And just steamrolled her. She was like, "Oh no." Fucking,
Yeah, she's super talented.
yeah, I mean, I told you, I seen her small once, and I was like, "Oh, this girl's really good."
Yeah, they got Blanchfield number 4. The woman who beat Chukagian, Fiora, the Frenchie.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen her fight yet. Natalia Santos.
Talia Santos. That would be a good fight, Blanchfield Santos. Santos has a very good ground game.
That would be good.
That
I
would
don't
be
know who the French girl fights.
Why is she hot?
No idea. I just see her name. Manon Fiorot. Fialet.
Do you think
Yeah,
you're pronouncing that correctly?
yeah, no John Anik. They're gonna do the rematch, right? Shevchenko Grasso
I think so. Yeah, I think Shevchenko gets the immediate rematch.
has to, right?
Mm.
Listen, she's defended enough. It's too bad. You know, she almost completed the circle of
Yeah.
every time you defend the title, you get a ruby around the thing.
You think they're real?
No, in the UFC, probably not.
I should hope so, though. I should.
Well,
Hope
they're gonna be cheap rubies.
Yeah, that doesn't have to be like the nicest one, but I would assume so.
So she had 7. 8 completes the circle, right? 8 is the octagon.
I believe so.
She had
People are
7
gonna say it's the
plus
new
that
curse.
fight.
Nobody will get 8. So if Aljo moves up, does he still like? What is he at? I guess the Yan. What number is he at? Does he have 2 or 3 rubies?
Do they give you one when you win the title?
You would think, unless they're like,
The belt. No, but if they give you one when you win the title, he would have 3. Jan twice, TJ, and then Gods of War willing, Odin willing. Cejudo would be 4.
oh, did you see the clip with Cejudo? He's like, I don't know. They were on some Zoom thing. I just saw a clip of it. It was like, Aljo, I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna come out hot with your kicks, and then when you can't land any, I'm gonna stuff your takedown attempts. And he goes, "My IQ is so much smarter than yours." And I was like, I don't know if he's willing his confidence or
Yeah.
what.
Or trying to be like, do this because this is what I'm preparing for. He's trying to play mind games. Sometimes it's physical, like, but other times,
Mental.
wait, fucking, yeah.
You think he's gonna have the moment halfway through camp, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Cejudo?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what his life's like because it looks like he's been active training, guys.
Right.
But I see now Joe training tonight. Fuck, I almost wish I would have went down to Law tonight because Calistine went out there. Flavor Fave was out there. I was like, oh man, a different cast of characters at Law than I usually see. I usually don't get. I trained with John Calistine at Henzo's in Brooklyn. I seen him this morning, and he
Is that
was
Beans?
Huh?
Who's John Callis?
Calistine, you probably don't know him. He's a Brooklyn guy. He used to train in the city with the Death Squad. He's good. He won EBI.
Oh shit.
He's super good. But you know, he's like a 35er.
The Flavor Fave, with the beard?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Fave used to train CrossFit with me too.
I appreciate
He's
that
always
man's
been a
energy.
little beast. Huh?
I appreciate that man's energy. Like he's got his style, and I appreciate it.
He brings the energy, yes. He definitely
His
he
little
tries to,
the captain's hat. That's a nice style.
I'm the captain now, yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, I was thinking the porn one. What was it?
Uh,
This is your era, John. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. Are you trying to say that I would know a porn reference?
What the hell is it? The cap?
I
I'm not Googling Captain Porn. I am clean.
No.
My algorithm needs to stay clean.
Do you think that'll pop up on our screen? Do you want to
Oh.
screen share and show us what you're Googling?
I want to just Google Holly Holm and like learn more. I'm very like.
Learn more about what? Her jaw?
Oh, go look at pictures of her from back in the day when she was a boxer, and now.
Yeah, I guess look at Holly Holm boxing
Holly Holm boxing. Okay.
and then look at Holly Holm now.
That's HGH would do the bone changing, right?
All the same shit.
Yeah.
Well, not all the same shit. Actually, growth hormone is better, probably.
Are you guys the same? Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, I see her like raising her hand with the boxing belt. She, yeah, looks a lot more feminine.
Right?
Look at her face.
I wonder what year
She's
that
on
is.
growth. Yeah, she could have been on growth. But yeah, I think growth, the only problem with it is if you have, let's say, makes everything grow. So, like, let's say you have like a precancerous thing, that may grow. Yeah, I don't think it makes your dick grow though, unless you shoot it directly into it. Which I had a client that said they did that, and yeah, Carrie, I had a client that said
Icy thing to do.
3 shots you got to do. So the guy a little older, and they were like 3 shots in the dick, and they were like it gets black and blue, but after that, it's like hard on command and huge. Apparently, I was like, "Oh, good for you, congratulations." I was like, "Hopefully, I never need a shot in my dick." I pray to all the gods, all of them, anyone will listen. Please do not. I don't want to get 3 fucking needles in my cock. Please just keep it working. Keep it good.
Rogan stopped those jokes with Cyborg. She confronted him.
Cyborg? Well, Cyborg got popped for juice, so she was on steroids.
You could see the major change in her face as well.
Go look at an early Cyborg. Her jawline was totally different.
Oh yeah, she had really like a feminine face. It changed dramatically.
Her jawline changed, yeah.
Like dramatically. Like
dramatically changed, yeah.
Like that's like what the fuck?
A different jaw. It just became squaw.
Yep.
It looked like the blockheads from fucking Gumby.
It's actually sad.
Hey, listen, I mean, I don't judge any. I mean, well, in her sport, though, it is illegal to do. So, so.
Amanda Nunes clean?
I never looked at pictures of her when she was younger, so I don't know.
Maybe.
She could be.
You never know. But maybe. I flip a coin on her.
Yeah, she could go either way.
No,
she actually does.
No, she's strictly Clitley. Strictly Clitley. She's like, I'm a mom too. Well, you know what she meant.
So I heard this from a person who works on the UFC broadcast. They said that there's about 40% of women fighters are gay, 20% of them male. But yet we've heard 0% of the male.
Yeah. I got to say, at least.
We should do a draft, a gay draft.
Who do you think's gay?
Would we get in trouble for that?
Hold on. I'm going to get in trouble because now I'm going to start naming names. Who's gay in MMA?
Aljo, you can't hide with your fiance. No.
No, don't do the gym. No one we know.
I'm kidding, Aljo.
Okay, so nobody that we know. So
Nobody
let's
we
see.
know.
No, we know. A fighter we don't know. Who's
I don't know. You're pretty close with Philip.
Who?
Mr. Novert. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we're close. Yeah. We've been close for a long time.
He's like, John, you just had your colon check last week. Oh, did I?
Dude, why are you putting gloves on? I thought we were friends. You don't need those. Just fucking go in. Have at it, bro. I got a funny one. So we've been friends for a long time, right? And there was a time where me and Philippe, we were dating like friends. These two girls that were friends in Long Island. They lived in like Farmingdale. And I guess we were young. So Philippe was a little younger than me. So he's 3 years younger than me. Which now that I'm like 42, that doesn't seem like a lot. He's 39. But when I was 22 and he was 19, it was a big difference. Because then, like, I was 22, I had a car, I already had graduated college, right? I was a little ahead of the game. And his girlfriend lived in the island and like was friends with my girl. So I was like, oh, let's go see my we'll go like double date. But we wound up my girlfriend's like parents weren't home and we were kids, right? 19, 22. So I fucked my girlfriend upstairs and him downstairs. And then we were just like joking with each other.
I spaced away.
Being loud for no reason. Hey, you gotta fuck somewhere. We weren't fucking with each other. Shit, this wasn't.
But the way you said it, there was no comma in that sentence.
No, no, we weren't fucking together. Calm down. He didn't grab my balls or anything. That was a different night.
No. He tapped in.
Dag, you're it. No,
You're
it wasn't that type of night. But then we started like fucking with each other. I'm like, ah, good call.
What was the
Just make all weird
safe word?
sounds.
What was the safe word? Omoplata?
Safe word. The safe word, if we need one, usually is SpongeBob. So, if you need one,
If I knew how to spell that, I would write it on the screen.
what?
The safe word is
SpongeBob.
sponge. I thought you said Civ Squab. I was like, they said
No, SpongeBob. If you need it, but usually you don't. You know, that has to be a conversation you have before. If you need a safe word, that shouldn't be like a spur of the moment thing. You really should have that mapped out. But usually you don't need a safe word. Why do you need a safe word, Ike?
my safe word. I'm trying to think. Hand grenade.
Hand grenade. Kerry, do you need a safe word?
No, I don't need a safe word.
If you had one, what would it be?
I don't know.
That's a good one. I don't know.
I never.
What's your safe word? Don't stop. Oh no. Don't stop. All right. What?
I'm gonna look. It's gonna go liar, and they're gonna get liar. That's one of my favorite go-to words in general.
Liar.
For no reason.
Hey, liar. That's your safe word.
Yeah.
Liar.
Don't stop believing by Journey playing in the background.
Don't stop believing.
And it's always
Fuck.
moment.
I have a really good story about safe words, but I don't know if I can tell it on the podcast.
Be careful.
Yeah.
You can come back to it.
Come back to it.
That's what I heard with tattoos. If you really want to get a tattoo, think about it for 6 months. If you still want it, get it.
Good idea.
It's like freezing your credit cards.
Meanwhile, my niece just got back-to-back tattoos at 18.
I can't say that. I didn't say that so.
So you have to wait to 18 to get tattoos, huh?
My brother. No, I have no problem with the tattoos. It's
Right, you know
it's
what I'm
fun.
saying, Gary.
Yeah.
My brother was grilling her with the old, and he's very old school, but grilling her with the jobs and employees and bosses. And I literally had this conversation. They even advertise now the suits with the beard and the man bun. And I assume, like, I worked with guys who used to cover up the tattoos on their arms. I think we're past that, no?
Yeah.
It's
Now
really-
you're working remotely. Who even cares?
Yeah.
Now they just do this.
You're lucky if sitting in a litter box somewhere in the corner. You know what I mean? Like these days.
I'm telling you, they just do this. Listen, I'm just gonna listen. You can hear me, right?
I'm just gonna listen.
I'm just gonna listen.
You know, there's people buy the mouse movers. It will like move your mouse. Like, so you keep your job. I'm like, if you have a job that you got to move the mouse.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I know though that'll be like working remotely and they're just in the gym and they put their phone on the side
Yeah.
and they just keep it on. You
And
know,
jujitsu?
yeah, a
That's
lot.
impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah, if it's like a meeting that they don't have to really listen to, like be part of, they like know how long it's gonna be, and then they just catch it at the end. They're like, "Oh, thank you,
Great. Thank you.
thank you, ah, great meeting, really inspired. I got a lot done."
Rogan says the school system has people groomed for office jobs.
The school system has people groomed for failure.
For 9 to 5 jobs that don't get you anywhere.
Yeah, to
But
be a corporate slave or a government worker.
Eddie
It
Bravo
really
believes.
it really teaches you how to be a government worker
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, an employee. They don't teach you how to do shit in school. They don't teach you how to do your taxes, start a business,
mhm.
plant food, grow weed.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you trying to grow weed, Gary? Whatever. Good skill.
Any of the good stuff.
The
Eddie
only
Bravo was saying, like the government's trying to rip us away from our family. Like you used
Yeah.
to just keep everybody in the house. And my friend, when the pandemic happened at 20, he just started homeschooling his kids. And for the
Well,
last 3 years, he's not going back. He goes, yeah, she's going to graduate early from high school. We have more time to go. I can focus on her for dance class or my son with baseball class. I was like, oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. And it made me think.
They're
I think it would be better than homeschool. I mean, if you think about it traditionally, right, shouldn't the family and the parents be responsible for most of the things a kid learns?
Yeah.
Your kid, isn't that all your resources? And let me ask you this: if you actually had the money that they would spend on your kid in public school, you would always send them to private school. If I gave you your kid's value in a credit in a voucher, right, 30 grand, would you send them to public school with that 30 grand, or would you send them to private school with that 30 grand? If I gave you 30 grand right now and I said you have to spend this on your kid's education, and the public school costs the same, right, as the private school for 30 grand, would you send them to a private school for 30 grand a year? You have to spend this money, or the public school for 30 grand a year.
Of course. Of course.
Of course, you the private school, right? It's a fucking no-brainer because the public school system sucks. They only send you there because they subsidize it with your tax money. If you actually paid for it, no one would send their kid to public school, and then private school would be a lot cheaper, and most schooling would be done at home.
Mm.
So the whole education system, once it became mandatory and then taken over by the government, it became an indoctrination process first for like industrialization, and that's really why you see the school system failing now, is because it's made for a system that doesn't exist anymore.
Yep.
The system it was made for just, where'd that system go? Now everyone works like online. No one stays at a job for 30 years anymore. Who does that? It's very rare. Like the person starting work now, the 20-year-old kid who starts a job now, they're not going to have that job for 30, 40 years. Your grandfather, Kerry, I bet your grandfather, maybe even your father, worked a job till he retired.
Yeah, both of them.
That's it. So when they came out of like high school or college, they worked till they retired at one job. That's it. When does that happen now? So the system that was built for it just don't exist. They used to just be like, oh, what am I going to do? I work or be for 40 years, 9 to 5. That's what the school system trains you for.
Yeah.
But those jobs really don't exist anymore.
No, not enough to have that going in that structure.
Yeah. Only if you want to further indoctrinate, like be a teacher or, I guess you could be government workers. But all those like 9 to 5 jobs, a lot of them are phasing out. Half of those shits went to India.
Yeah.
Yep. And think
Where
about every job that a robot could do. Seriously, like as soon as
robot can't
better.
fucking be as entertaining as us motherfuckers.
No.
So,
Robots will
Uh,
never.
uh, 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 uh.
Who wants the one?
I'm
Bueller.
trying to think what other fights were on that card. If there was anything good.
I don't know, but this coming fight card, this next one this weekend is gonna be sick.
That's that's Adesanya Pereira.
Hmm?
2. I think they should have waited a little bit. Pereira, I mean, Adesanya just got knocked out.
Yeah,
Like that fight was when? December?
I feel like that was like
Can you look that up?
November. That was Steamroller.
yes, that was.
That was the Garden.
Steamroller.
That's November. November 12th, December 12th, January 12th, February 12th, March 12th. And what is this going to be? Is it going to be April 12th? 5 months? Okay, maybe. I guess. He wasn't like completely starched. I usually like 9 months after you get knocked out
Agreed.
before you fight, but it's just me. 5 months? That's doable. That's what Aljo did after that Marlon Moraes fight, and it worked out fine. So
Yeah,
Marlon Moraes fights Brendan Lucknane,
in PFL,
a law MMA guy now.
who
In PFL, Brendan Lucknane.
when I don't know if I trained with him.
He was just there for the 2 weeks before the Garden fight.
Oh, I was like,
Oh,
oh, if I trained
We'll
with
take him. He was having a go.
like
Chris Wade, Bubba Jenkins was good.
Bubba Jenkins. I like Chris Wade. He's good.
Hmm.
Long Island guy. He trains at Long Island MMA, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And boxing. Woo. Roy Jones Jr. versus Anthony Pettis. Vitor Belfort versus Ronaldo Souza Jacare. Jeremy Stevens versus what the hell is his name? Jose Aldo.
Wait, just boxing. What
Yep.
card is this?
This
Roy-
is I think it's called Icon Fights or something. It's Jorge or Game Bread Fights. It's Jorge
Do
Masvidal.
that card again, Ike. That's a
Hmm?
crazy card.
I'm like, what? Who?
Roy Jones Jr., Anthony Pettis, Vitor Belfort, Jacare, just boxing. Jeremy Stevens, Jose Aldo, the rematch in boxing.
Wow.
Okay. All right, interesting. I like those fights, even just boxing.
Yeah. No, the pay-per-view is next week for the UFC, but this is a sick weekend in the meantime.
That's this weekend.
Yep.
Oh, how much is that pay per view?
I think it's $10 probably.
I could watch that.
Oh, I would support that for $10.
Boxing, but I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'd support it for like 10, 20 bucks. Yo, if the UFC lowered its pay per view to $50, I would buy it instead of bootlegging it the next day.
Agreed.
I'm just saying, it's too much. $80. And I got to pay for every other service. The UFC fucking nickel and dimes you for everything.
Yep.
You need Fight Pass. You need ESPN Plus.
Mhm.
You got to pay the full price for the pay per view, not even a discount when you have 3 things going
So stupid.
on. Like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah. Boxing used to do a week after the pay-per-view for free. I think UFC does like 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, it used to be sooner. Come on.
It's way far.
Come on. What are you doing? Sorry.
Yeah, Kerry, get close to the cat.
Come on.
Carrie's cat makes the appearance, the weekly appearance.
Soldier or Sage?
Sage is trying to come home. Come here. Come here. Stop being a jerk. Get over here.
What's the Folger theme song? It's part of waking up. It's Folgers in your cup. Get out of my fucking view. You're in my shot.
You're in my shot. It's my stash. That's my stash can, all right? The Folgers can. It's like that was the OG stash can. You always would stash your weed and all your paraphernalia in a bag, in a can, just in the back of the fucking shelf. Just like, don't look here.
No way Roy Jones beats Pettis, right?
He might. Roy Jones? I don't know. He's old though.
Yeah.
54.
Wow.
Before he just went. He fought Tyson before the pandemic, right?
All the juice, though, right? We talked about juice earlier. Like this
Oh,
type of fight, I'm okay with it.
You really should be allowed to.
Yeah.
You should test both their levels and let them come in close to each other.
Every 10 years should be another 25% of Toradol. And
No, just test them and just even it out, right? Well, I was someone was saying, I forget who it was, that in the future they think they'll just do the divisions by testosterone level. So it'll be like the low test division, the medium test division, and the high test division. So it would essentially be like, all right, listen, if your testosterone is like up to 250, right, you compete in this division, or up to 200. I was like, I don't think that's gonna work the way you think it is.
Derek Lewis said that he is low T.
He probably does.
Mm.
All the times he's got knocked out, he's fat.
Imagine him versus Joseph Benavidez. Like, I'm not saying Joe has low T.
There's no amount of juice you can give Joseph Benavidez to make him as big as Derek Lewis. You
Fun
can give
fact,
him
he's married to Megan O'Leary.
So that's the score right there. Good for him.
Yeah, so that's the score right there. Agreed.
Yeah, he won in life.
Yep.
And did you see when Figueiredo was like doing the Photoshop of him with Megan O'Leary? Figueiredo's such a dick, but I love it.
Yeah, that guy wins social.
That was
Yeah,
great.
he definitely wins social. I mean, he got his ass kicked the last fight, but hey, it happens. Sometimes you zig when you should have zagged. That's high level fighting.
How many fighters have you said that to in the back? I feel it's like a guy's gonna come. I get it, Manimal. I should have zagged at the zig, and you're like,
Listen. No, what do I say after a guy lose it? What do I always say?
Take a hit of this.
Bro, do you want to smoke? No. I'm like the God of War chooses who he sees fit, not who we see fit. That's the way it goes.
That quote, and I knew you were going to say that. I just didn't know. I didn't want to like jump in there and be like, I know what you're
That's what I always tell a guy if he loses.
Bro.
That's like my staple, but yeah.
Dell is your baby. I hope you can just push him all the way if he wants to go to glory, if he wants to do. Does he do grappling?
We need to get him doing more grappling. Grappling is a very time-consuming art.
For real. I believe more than striking. No offense.
More than striking, yeah. No offense to striking, but it's way more time-consuming.
Khabib dropped Conor. Conor could never submit Khabib.
No.
Never.
Yeah, like exactly. But yeah, so like striking lends itself a little better. Grappling takes so much reps. They just need, like, to get good at jiu-jitsu, you really need to be doing it at the level Dell needs to. He needs to be doing jiu-jitsu 4 days a week, 5 days a week.
Are you okay with these kids training a year of jiu-jitsu, maybe getting to the early blue belt, learning some punching, and getting to the cage in their amateur fights? I swear I see it a lot in the local promotions.
Yeah, that's fine.
Interesting. So
yeah, for amateur fights,
if they're looking at themselves as they're going to be a pro, just like use the amateur career as like
getting out the jitters.
Okay.
Experimenting. Like our amateur fights, I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up in the era when we really didn't have amateur fights. So what we call amateur fights were all these weird smoker type things to like get used to fighting. And they were good to do. Like, I don't know if you ever seen, I have like an old clip. I was in like boxing gloves, the other dude's in like MMA gloves, and we do kickboxing and grapple. You break after like 30 seconds. Like there were all these weird things we did. And whatever. So that was like what we would consider amateur. And those were just like whatever is for us. And that's almost how I see some of the amateur stuff. But before they turn pro, you know what? Rodrigo used to say you should be a purple belt before you turn pro. The only problem is that would take a long time before I turn the kids pro. because that would take at least 3 years of steady training, 4 years maybe, right? It
Oh,
takes a long time to get
I
a
like
purple
that
belt.
actually. I thought at first it sounded like a while, but I'm like, how many you could get? Like 5, 7, 10 at most amateur fights.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
10's a
And
good number.
you get, you get 10 amateur fights. Because remember, they're shorter rounds, a more limited rule set in the first
Yeah.
couple.
A more limited rule set.
10 is a lot. But you get up to 10, why not?
Dude, the killers at law, the young Tom Fitzsimmons, Edwin Jung,
Yeah.
Rob
Kids are good,
Schultz.
the young amateurs.
I feel like
Yeah,
boxing,
well,
or I feel like MMA is going to be like boxing. What was the premier division? The 147, right? Sugar Ray, Floyd, Manny. Like, I feel like MMA is going to be bantam. Like, if they were boxing size, they would be.
And you see right away, Cody Sandhagen called out Marab.
Yeah.
What the hell did he say at the end? He's like, I know Marab likes to eat, or something like, you like to eat,
Really
and I don't taste good.
It's really corny that just
He likes to eat, I don't taste good. What? He's
like, try again, mate.
He needs a writer.
Yeah.
Sandhagen, let me know if you need a writer. All right.
He needs a comedy writer.
Did you guys like the big crowd for the fight night? It felt like, I was like, oh shit, is this pay-per-view? It's like,
yeah, I like big
I
crowd.
love a crowd. Why wouldn't you want a crowd? If you don't want a crowd, just fucking fight in the gym.
Agreed.
Then do it at the Apex.
True. That's what I mean. The saving a little,
Do it at the Apex, which I don't really like. Like, I like a crowd there.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
People.
Conspiracists would say Dana White knew a pandemic was coming. They said, build the Apex. Build the Apex.
Build the Apex. Donald Trump was like, hey,
Oh.
I want to build something you can do your own shit at. You just do it all in house. You know what would be the best thing for you to do? Dana, let me tell you what to do, Dana. Build your own shit in Vegas. You got land. Do it. You need a loan?
But I feel like the Trump administration were not aware that they let the monkey out of the cage, or the bat, whatever the virus was carrying.
Don't believe anything you hear. All right. Half of what you see, but everything you feel. So I don't know. I don't feel that. I think they all know. Those motherfuckers were all on it real quick too. They were sending money out real quick to fucking their boys, all of them, Trump included.
Yep.
Even though of the swamp, he's the best, but still, he's still a swamp creature.
Yeah.
Swamp. Yep.
Remember, he gave Pfizer $1 trillion. Remember what we call it when the government backs a private company. Call that fascism, right?
What the hell is fascism? Everybody keeps throwing around this word. What's fascism? What's Marxism? If you don't mind.
Different things. Fascism, as defined by my great uncle, is.
I was looking more for a definition.
Yeah, he defines it. He's like, fascism is when the government and private business engage in a very close and special relationship.
Like collusion, kind of?
Yes. So it's like Volkswagen. That's fascism, right? So where does it fall in the spectrum of socioeconomics? A weird spot. So, like, okay, let's think about Italy, right? Fascism. Fiat. You make a company, or Volkswagen's the better example. Volkswagen's a car made by a private company, which is really owned by the government. But it's a private company, but it's the government. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
The government is essentially your partner in this business, telling you how to operate it, what you could do, what you can't do. Not quite communism. Communism would be like, let's say, like communist China. When I used to make clothes there, I had a partner. He would go to China. And when he went to the factory in China, this is years ago, I don't know if it's still like this, but when it was communist China, I think it's still communist, right? You wouldn't go and have a factory owner. You would go meet with the Minister of Finance, who oversaw that factory. So every dude's a government worker. So if you want to quit your job in China, and I know this is true today because I watch a lot of 90 Day Fiance. So let's say you want to quit your job in China. The government has to give you permission
That's
to
crazy.
quit your job because it's all government. In a communist country, the government owns everything, right? Everything's the government. The coffee shop on the corner is owned by the government. So Pablo, the dishwasher, that motherfucker's a government employee. And his boss is also a government employee. And when you get into a disagreement with him, now you're disobeying a government employee, your superior officer, right? Everything becomes very hierarchical then. So for this dude in China to be able to quit his job, let's say he hates his boss. I want to quit my job. The government has to give him the okay. And if the government says no, if he quits, he gets arrested. So this is what I fear for like a communist state. Anyone that goes against the government, like, is going to become essentially a political dissident. So you have to be careful of that. And in fascism, everything will start to be controlled by the government through a roundabout way, like you saw with our government. That's why I say our government's fascist. So what do? We give $1 trillion to Pfizer, $1 trillion to make their own product. That's a private company, right? And then we help them back it and enforce it and mandate it to sell your product. That's full fascism. The blatant example of fascism. Me, the government, give you a private company a ton of fucking money, and then in exchange for any types of donations and the greater good, we let you also distribute that product that we helped pay for to our citizens at a low cost to you. You know what I mean? And help you back it and pass laws that favor you being able to sell your product. So now let's say I'm like, oh, I'm going to give you money to make electric vehicles. And I'm going to make it hard to make electric vehicles, to make fuel vehicles, to give you an unfair competitive advantage in the marketplace. It's called fascism. If you want to do that, you have to give to both. You would have like an energy grant. And if you wanted people to do more of something, you would just encourage it. You know, if you start making laws against the other one, you're fucking handicapping their business. If the other thing is better, just do the other thing. People will want to do the better thing just because it's better. Like people don't drive horse and buggies anymore. You know why? Because the car is better. It's just fucking better. The car isn't shitting on the fucking floor. I don't have to feed the car. You know, if someone else takes care of it, boom, I send it to the mechanic. I don't have to fucking put it in a, stable here at Winnie, and I don't, you know what I mean? The fucking car is better than the horse and buggy. So the government didn't have to pass a law against the horse and buggy. People just started buying cars. They were like, the car is better, right? Your cell phone. You know why you don't have a house phone anymore? Because your cell phone's better. No one made a law saying not to lose your house phone. You just stopped using your house phone because the cell phone is far superior of a product. So if a product is far superior, you don't need to do shit to make people want to use it. So every time the government comes along and makes a law that limits your ability to buy something you fucking want, if it's a good product, it's fascism. So but people just call everything fascist now. But the literal definition of fascism is when the government is heavily involved in private industry. And communism is when the government controls that industry. There is no private industry. Ike, you see how we're doing this podcast? Wrong. This is a government fucking podcast. You know what I mean? We told the party line, right? That would be in a comment. They watch your social media. Kerry would go black.
We are sponsored by whitehouse.gov.
Yeah, what is everyone sponsored by? Pfizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Everyone's sponsored by Pfizer. They fucking are like, yo, rule the world out here. So, so in like Cuba, same thing. You want to, and the government tells you where you work. So you like living in Long Island, right?
Yes.
Wrong. We need you to go work the factory in South Dakota. That's your job. You want to help the government, right? You work the factory in South Dakota. That's where we need you and your family. You just go to South Dakota. Don't worry. It's part of America. Right, that's what you do in a communist country. Wherever we need you, we just send you there. Why do you care? You're just a worker. You're part of the collective, right? Your house isn't your house anyway. Like you don't own anything. That belongs to everyone. It's not your house, it's the government's house, the people's house. What?
That belongs to everyone.
So did the government own the people's court?
Everyone belongs to everyone. Huh?
Did the government own the people's court?
Yeah, the government owns the court. Of course. The people ostensibly are the government. The workers are the government.
So Judge Joe Brown
was
a government puppet. So Judge Joe Brown was a government puppet?
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course he's a government puppet. The courts are controlled by the government in our country too, which is pretty normal. To have the legal system controlled by the government. You usually don't have a third party control the legal system in a country. It's extremely rare. I don't know if I could think of any instance of it. Also rare to have a private company like the Federal Reserve control your currency supply. So that's another weird one. So there's a few weird things in the modern world, but that would definitely be one of them. Oh man, I thought I had my Fed in my car with me the other night. I took an Uber home. I stuck at the train station, and the dude was like, "What do you think about the Federal Reserve?" I was like, "What are you, my fucking Fed?" I was like,
Speaking to the mic.
Speaking to the mic. I was like,
Ew.
call me old fashioned. I like the gold standard.
Your old fascism.
No, not me. I think the best government, personally, the best government to me is the Republic. The only problem with the Republic is it's so fucking good, it destroys itself. So the Republic, what's a Republican form of government? That's what we have, right? The most freedom, you try to have a very decentralized form of government where everyone has local governments that feed into a bigger government that doesn't have a lot of power. That's a Republican form of government. You try to have as little restriction on industry as possible. Where there's very little restriction, what do you see? Growth, right? Where do we have the Industrial Revolution? It's because there's no fucking restriction on industry. People are creative. You let people do creative things. Listen, I'm not saying bad things can't happen, but an educated people should bargain for themselves and not fucking feel like they have to work for something they don't want to do. Like in a really plentiful society, if capitalism works the way it's supposed to, it actually should produce a tremendous amount of wealth for everyone, even the poorest guy. But that's based on a very well-educated worker who understands his value. It's like the problem with MMA. You have workers that don't understand their value. So when you have a worker that understands his value, like let's say NBA, those guys get fucking banked, right?
They got
now you have a worker who don't understand his value, and he gets shit on. Of course, that's the bad part of capitalism. The worker that don't advocate for his merit will get passed over and shit on that. It's a sad. But there's no perfect system. I'd rather, some people can shine, some people might not. But a society so bountiful that even those guys that don't shine can actually still make a decent living doing what they love. It's like when the economy's good, people are fucking spending money, right? Kerry, we were talking about this the other day. Like in the 90s when the economy was like kind of booming, like being a private freelance person like myself and Kerry, like private cleaning and shit like that was lit. Crazy lit. I was making more money even without comparing it than I am now, which is crazy.
Yep.
Because if you have more disposable income, people spend it. And even before the pandemic, I was rocking away too. I was rocking hard. Mm-hmm. The economy was pumping. People are buying all kinds of shit they normally wouldn't. Hey, I'm going to fucking train with you 4 times a week. Now with a pandemic, it's like once or twice. I mean, after it's like once or twice a week, you're going to train with me privately. When you're making mad money, it's like 4 times a week, whatever. Shit's fine. Things are cheaper, right? Think about when inflation's less. Things cost less, so you get more for your money, so you have more money left over. So when the economy's good, yeah, you're making mad money. So I just think it should be like that all the time. And the less taxes the government puts on you, the more money you're going to have to spend. Yep. The best incentive anyone could get is less taxes. right, Ike, when you get a tax refund, that's your fucking money, whatever. But what do you do with it? You spend it, right?
Damn straight.
Hell yeah. So imagine if you had no fucking tax, or let's say only 10% taxes you'd have to pay instead of 37% taxes. Imagine you had an extra 27% more income. How good would the fucking economy be? You know, the thing is, though, you would spend it on things you want. And the government wants to try to control what you're going to spend your money on.
I'm going
Not
to
only
burgerology then.
a third of it, huh?
I'm going to burgerology then.
And that place should thrive based on where you put your money. And I believe that system works. I think the republic and some form of capitalism is a good system. If you need money, if you don't need money, if you want to go no monetary system, which I would prefer, you need a small society based on trading, bartering, and still ingenuity, and you do need some private property. I would think. This is my opinion as a historian and a manimal, you know. But yeah, if you want no currency, you would need a smaller society. But you could have a bunch of little ones that maybe could feed in. I don't know. There's no reason you can't do anything. Humans decided to make the world this way.
That's true.
No one fucking animals don't live like this.
Yeah.
Humans decided every step of the way what we're going to put value on, the things you're going to make, what we're going to think. We decided that, right? Humans decided that based on just what their own brain told them. So there's no reason you couldn't do it in a completely different way. And I'm always open to suggestion. If anyone has good suggestions, I'd love to hear them.
Put it in the suggestion box.
Put it in the suggestion box. Suggestion box was the best idea I didn't do at my gym until I was almost ready to close. You should always have a suggestion box. Why wouldn't you want to listen to what your people have to say?
They're the people that keep paying to keep your place open, yeah.
Yeah, I always want to know what my clients have to say. Even if it's bad, I should want to hear it.
Yep.
Yeah. Ike, you have anything bad to say? No, I'm just kidding.
Bad. Oh, Marxism.
That would be communism. Yeah, Karl Marx. What a fucking and you know what's funny? I used to be very into the works of Karl Marx, and he's very smart about where do you put your surplus value. And this is something I think about all the time too. Where should your surplus value go? And I agree with him. It should go back to the workers, right? So you have the value that it needs to run a company. Everyone gets paid. You have profit. Where does profit go? In capitalism, profit goes to the owners,
Right.
usually, right? In communism, profit goes to the workers. However, the government is composed of the workers, right? So it goes to the government, and the workers are kind of one thing. So it gets very weird. But Marx, I don't think is wrong about that. The workers should get the money, but I think it should be almost more like I think everything should work almost like the NBA. The workers get a 50% split of the revenue from the owners.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? And I think everything should be project based. Like city jobs are the stupidest shit ever. So like let's say the MTA. I'm going to give you a job for fucking 25 years and pay you like 80 grand to 100 grand a year, slowly build you up to essentially do a job that I could do in 5 years.
Somebody could do it from a
job in 5 years. We could do this job. You want to fix the subway? 3 years, if we just worked, we could do it. And in that 3 years, give me the fucking money you were going to give me to do the job for 25 years and half-ass it. Give me the fucking 8 mil or whatever it would equate to. Pay me for the job, not by the hour. I don't like getting paid by the hour. I wish I could just get paid by the project. It's just hard to do in my field. But to me, you usually get paid by the project. Like, what do you need? I need a house. The house is the perfect example. You get paid by the project. If it takes you 3 months to build that house and a month to sell it, boom, you made 500 grand in 4 months.
Yep.
You're a hero, right? Bang, capitalism, right? If it takes you 2 years, listen, you can still sell it, you can still make a profit, but you can make less.
Elon Musk lives by that too. He's like, if you get your work done in 4 hours, see ya.
Yeah.
Yo, that's it.
The whole people like wanting to be fucking plugged in for 8 hours. Like nobody works for their hardest for 8 hours. Who came up with that number?
Someone
Who
stupid.
came up with that number? Can you imagine 8 hours in the factory That must
The
have been
school
the
system, same amount of numbers.
what? The school system, same thing, 8 hours.
Same numbers, 8 hours.
And an earlier 8 hours, which is crazy.
We sleep as much as we work. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on in your sleep, Ike.
I know.
like no sleep.
I've been,
What carry I into you?
I'd like to sleep a little more and work less.
I used to just go in late, leave early, but bust no coffee, no eating, no like bullshitting, no cooler talk, just fucking grind for 5 hours. Peace.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Get your
I
work
like
done
to
and get.
break my work up a little different. But yeah, in a day, I don't want to work more than 5 hours.
Mm.
You
Coming
know?
hot.
But I
Check
come in hot.
Facebook. Buy
Bro, you
shit.
see when I teach a class? When I
Yeah.
teach a class, I come in hot, right? You come in Friday? Let's go. Adopt the white belt, baby. We need more content. Where's the techniques we did? And I got the Danaher story. That would be good too.
You're ambushing me. No,
Oh,
it's,
did I ambush you? Pop, pop, pop.
all-
You fucking
Sounds
boom. You
good.
can't handle it, man. I'm fucking bam. I'm pop in your
John's
face.
coming in hot.
Coming
I'm,
in hot, hot,
it's
hot.
in the queue. It's in the queue.
It's in the queue. All right. I guess Kid didn't make it tonight. I said, what's the over under on Kid?
We all should have bet. Not coming.
I was like, no, it's too short the span of me sending him a thing. My follow up wasn't as good as it could.
Usually that's easy. Usually some people like it just hot.
hot.
Yeah.
Like some people, it gets lost in the messages. They don't go back to it.
It's coming in hot. Maybe I didn't remind Kid enough. Maybe he's fucking. I don't know. Maybe he's just cutting weight. Who knows? I don't think he left for Cali yet though. But he's
No, I
fighting. The
think he
Kid's
leaves
fighting this
tomorrow.
weekend in Bellator.
Yep.
I'm looking for him to catch a body. I told him I'll give him $500 if he wins by submission.
Oh,
I wonder if Jeff's flying out there with him.
Jeff's in his suitcase.
He's in more than that.
Dude, we go to Vegas, right? Hold on, let's wrap up on a kid's story.
Okay.
So we go out to Vegas when I think it was when Billy Q was fighting. So we go out to Vegas, kids out there too.
Really cute.
Billy Q, I think he got a fight coming up soon too. So we're out there for Billy Q when he was on the Contender Series. It was right after I fought at the Garden, so I was riding high. And we're out there training and shit. And Kid, we go to the 10th Planet. And we do the MMA class, good class. Kids afterward just like chilling, shadow boxing. And the instructor's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just, cooling down. The guy's like, all right. Then I think it was Jeff that came to do a private at 10th Planet with Kid. He just at some other guy's school just invited Jeff. He's like, yo, Jeff, come. I'll just do a private with you here at this guy's school the first day I met him. And then he starts doing the private getting paid. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just doing a private with my guy. He's like, who the fuck are you? Like, you trained here? He's like, I trained here today. Still like, what? Then he was going to spar. What's his name? Kevin Lee. And it was like his first day at Couture's. And they were like, you can't spar, get out. They were like,
Justin told me about that, the Kevin Lee story. He never told me that Jeff was on this trip.
Jeff was there. Yeah, Jeff was there. Of course, Jeff was there.
Justin's father and I are really cool, really cool. He goes
Jeff's
to me.
sponsor. Who goes to him? Jeff's dad?
Justin's dad. Shout outs to Mr. Montalvo, NYPD. Shout outs to him. He goes, Justin's not like, he's not like, he's cool with Jeff, but he's not like super cool. Jeff's his own type of guy. And I was like, is he like worried that I'm gonna like judge like Justin for hanging out with Jeff?
I don't think Jeff's gay. It's okay.
No, not even that. But like, he's gay or not, he's his own person.
Yeah, we understand. That's not your cohort. I got you. It's not your henchman. But Jeff does like to hang out with Kid. So he was in Vegas then. Yeah, and Kid's doing a private with him at some dude's gym. Never met the guy before. First day, just, hey, come on. Kid's bold. I think he just is oblivious. He doesn't even realize.
So
That could
I
be.
got a Jeff story too. I'm doing kettlebell swings, and he goes, "Squeeze your ass tighter."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?"
It's good to
He
squeeze
goes,
your
"No, no, relax. Squeeze your ass tighter when you're falling up."
the top.
And he said, "Let me show you like a golf swing." No,
Did you grab your ass then? You palm it.
Like a golf swing.
He got behind him and he was like,
we're doing kettlebell swings together. Ray comes in with his half a gallon of cold brew. And goes, "What the fuck?" No, I'm just kidding.
amazing. Me and Kerry, no coffee, 27 days.
Yo, I just brought you up to my wife. She was like, "Holy shit!" I was like,
Yep.
because she started doing it a week now, and she made it. Oh, I could never do no coffee. My head's gonna explode.
It did. The first 4 days was tough.
I'm doing no weekends. Like I was very excited today to put on a
Well,
pot.
weekends, that sucks because the coffee withdrawal doesn't even finish.
Exactly.
I was itching for it. I was able to take a nap.
My sleep's been better, actually. All right.
Yeah.
Guys, speaking of sleep, can we end it on that note? I want to eat something. Maybe some chocolate mousse. I don't know. I had some of that gnocchi.
Oh, gnocchi! Shout out to gnocchi. Money bags, right?
Avengers! Assemble.
The mic's still on. Or off. Love you, John.
Please note, the new number is